go.
Okay, so we kind of come back to the party, having just made a kind of fairly bold escape from. Well, you're not exactly sure exactly from where, but from these kind of dwarven mercenaries and their mysterious masters. However, as we mentioned last session, your escape has now not gone unnoticed. In no short manner due to Torik's trap that he left. But as you guys have left this compound, the horses are running, but you can hear the uproar kind of starting to erupt in the compound behind you. And as you've got just about a kilometre away, you can kind of hear howl that you first heard Croc all those weeks ago. Conrad has not heard this before. This doesn't bode well for him. You can see quite visibly on his face he's quite scared by this. Oh God, what was that? Where are we? We need to get to Bayford.
About that, does anyone know where we are?
The area around you is forested. There's no real giveaways as to where you are.
And it's nighttime?
Yes. So it's kind of getting on for about 10:30, 11ish.
Anybody know anything about stars?
It's a good shout. Tris? Seems like a Tris thing.
It's like knowing star positions and having a vague idea where they would be in the sky, the kind of thing that I would know.
Possibly. I mean, you've read a few books, but
I could possibly do a cartographer role, looking at the surrounding area and seeing if it matches any of my maps.
Yeah, you can do that.
Plus the proficiency, it's 16.
So it's not particularly clear exactly where you are, but from the kind of type of terrain and the kind of local fauna, you realise you're probably a fair bit north of Bayford, somewhere roughly northwest-ish, you would have guessed, but you're not 100% sure. There is the path you're on, but it doesn't match any on your maps.
It probably makes sense. If this is a path that led to that place, then it's probably off the map.
Well, Bayford is the nearest major city, and we need shelter, so it makes sense to just head there as quick as we can.
Yes,
There's only one path right now, isn't there? So I'm assuming if we just follow the path,
we might find our way to the main road.
Yeah, first, and then we'll figure it out when we get to a road.
Yeah.
Which might be ambitious, but it's worth a try.
Yes, Bayford is our best bet. I've got contacts there, and the king will no doubt want to hear about this. So you kind of keep the horses going down the road. Obviously keen to put some distance between you and the compound. You keep going for a couple of hours. The forest is truly dark now. You kind of reminded why you don't usually travel at night in these places. It's pretty much impossible to see more than 20 yards into the kind of thick trees either side of a road. You don't really feel too comfortable not knowing what's out there. But given the situation, there's not much really to be done about it. If you carry on for a few hours, you kind of hear the din of dwarven kind of clam fade away behind you, and it's soon out of earshot. However, every now and again you do hear a howl, and it sounds like they're keeping pace. But you end up coming to a fork in the road, and in front of you you have the path splitting into two directions. Torek, you kind of estimate that you're probably going to get to Bayford faster going down the left-hand branch. Yendel, you kind of feel this, it's not quite an urge as such, more of a hunch that the right-hand path might be a good idea. You couldn't put your finger on what makes you think that. But...
Okay, everyone, we're going left.
Sorry, you said the right-hand path for me, right?
Yeah, I did, yes.
Yeah, I don't know why. I wouldn't be so hasty to decide.
Did someone say something?
Quite like the thought of the right-hand path. It's just something, I don't know. It just appeals to me.
It appeals to you.
It just feels like the correct option.
Well, we don't have much time to argue. We need to pick a direction left, alright?
Oh yes, we all need to make a decision, either Torek's maps or Yendorn's feels.
Sure enough, as Rulin points this out, you kind of hear another howl that sounds a bit closer this time.
Yeah,
Flick a coin.
Can you explain this feeling?
It's rather tricky. It's just, I don't know, more of an intuitive feeling. You know, when something just feels like it should be done.
Titus no trust liar tooth. Titus will go with heel tooth.
Well, I guess that settles it then.
So Titus kind of directs his horse down this right-hand path and doesn't really wait for anybody else to disagree with him. So,
and funniest is in front of me, because I picked him up. If you remember, he's on the same horse as me.
Yeah.
I disagreed with Torek.
So yeah, kind of conclusively makes the decision. So this path kind of it leads off in a kind of slightly curving route, and it becomes a bit kind of more overgrown. But about 20 minutes down the path, you kind of come across what would look to be remains of some form of building. There's kind of a stone archway, or at least the two supporting pillars, and the kind of crumbled stone of what you assume to be the crossbeam lying on the ground. And there's kind of an open entryway that houses a set of stairs leading down. It's all incredibly overgrown. It looks like nature has been reclaiming this for quite some time.
Well, something tells me we're not going to get much further. This seems as good a place as any to hold out. We should probably get inside and try and barricade ourselves in, maybe.
I agree. I wouldn't want to be caught in the middle of nowhere again by these things.
If we can, well, if we can make it through, what time of day did you say it was?
So by this point, it's probably 2 o'clock-ish, small hours in the morning.
Right, okay. If we can make it through the night, then we can head back out in the morning and head straight for Bayford.
So as you guys kind of pull the horses up and kind of dismount and make your way towards this entryway, the kind of howls are much louder, and you kind of turn to see the first of these kind of nightmare hounds enter the clearing. And as it sees you, it kind of snarls and leaps towards you, but it kind of suddenly pulls up short and kind of draws its paw back, almost as if it kind of hurt. You can't see it stop for a moment, but it doesn't try it again. It kind of moves a bit to its left a few meters and tries again. Still, it kind of is met with the same results, and whilst this is happening, the kind of rest of the pack have appeared behind it, and they don't seem to be as keen to push in, having seen the alpha stop short. You don't know what's keeping them there, but it seems that they're not willing to enter this clearing.
Where? So is it just in the middle of the clearing that they've kind of stopped, or?
So the kind of entryway to this this structure is in the middle of a clearing. They've kind of stopped, kind of just a few feet into the clearing. Before,
are there any? Are there any like posts or pillars or anything around the area?
A few kind of stone pillars that you guessed at one point were archers, but
are there any
long since collapsed.
Are there any runes inscribed on the arches?
It's hard to see. They're mostly all covered in kind of thick moss or lichen.
Okay.
The actual bare stone is not really exposed on many of these things.
Do you all recall what Hrock told us? That Caer Emlyn was... The walls of Caer Emlyn were infused with magic that could keep the beasts at bay. It seemed, wherever we've ended up, some sort of magic on this place. Triss, is there anything you can detect?
Yeah. Can I cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, sure you can. So yeah, sure enough, there is some form of magic at work here, although you can't determine what sort.
Okay. Would there be any like obvious source of where it's coming from, or is it just sort of an ambient magic?
You get the impression that the closer towards this structure you get, the stronger the aura becomes.
Okay. Could I touch the structure and cast identify the ritual?
Yeah, sure. Is that a spell slot or something you can do with one of your features? I can never remember.
It is.
If you use it as a ritual, you don't use up a spell slot.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that I can just do. Let me just triple check that. It's part of my book of secrets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can learn and cast ritual spells from any classes spell list.
So you sit and prepare this ritual whilst the rest of the party kind of keeps an eye on these hounds that are still kind of circling the complex. It takes you a while, but you kind of cast it and you work out that this used to be a kind of ritual site for a purpose. You don't know exactly what the purpose is, but there were rituals performed here.
Chaz? Sprinkling wrappers.
Sorry.
Okay. Alright. I mean, the fact that those hounds aren't wanting to come near is kind of reassuring. Sort of. Or either it's going to be good for us or really, really, really bad. But, you know, might be worth finding out.
Well, I mean, just because this place is magic and it's keeping the hounds out doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good magic, but I do think we should maybe try and find out more about this place.
Could I have a produce flame ready and go and have a peek in?
Okay, so the kind of flame lights in the palm of your hand, and you kind of peek your head round this kind of stone archway that houses the stairs, and you can see that these steps lead down a considerable way. You reckon they probably stop about 40 foot below surface level, but it appears they lead into some sort of chamber.
Could I theoretically use Mage Hand to hold the flame and get the Mage Hand to take the flame to the bottom of the chamber, so I don't have to go any further, but we can get a bit more light? Or would I not be able to see what was going on down there either?
Well, you wouldn't have anything to see down there, you'd just see the bottom of the stairs, and I think they're possibly both concentration. Mage Hand and Produce Flame.
Mage Hand's
Both cantrips. Oh, I'm with you. I understand, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna creep down the stairs and have a bit more of a look, slowly and quietly.
Rulin will follow along with Triss.
Okay. So, as you kind of go down these stairs, you kind of see that, like the outside, the walls and the stairs are kind of covered with this kind of thick growth of kind of lichen and moss. Seems that the place really hasn't been maintained for quite some time, you would estimate. In fact, Triss, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Is that a dexterity saving throw?
It is, yes.
If Rulin's right behind her, can he aid her?
Depends what he gets. No, she's fine.
Okay, yeah.
That works.
So, kind of with the light, you're able to see that these stairs are in quite a hazardous state, so you kind of take due caution and beckon for Rulin to do the same. So you get to the bottom of the stairs and see kind of flickering light from your palm kind of illuminates a kind of a room that's been cut from the bedstead. It's got some support pillars in it, and it seems to be kind of a large entry hall for whatever lies beyond. But you can see at the far end there is kind of like a metal kind of statue of the head of a serpent, but its jaws remain closed. You can't see any doors, but there's a plinth just in front of the serpent's head. But on it is a kind of a glass bottle whose kind of walls have been frosted by the effects of time, but you can see that it's at least full.
Do we know? I mean, I'm guessing this looks like a religious kind of altar. Could we do like a check to see whether we know what religion it is?
Well, there are no markings as such to know anything else on the wall. There is just this statue.
Just a statue. Okay. Also, the detect magic, would I have to cast that again to figure out whether this is the source of the magic that we'd noticed upstairs?
Yes, you would have to cast it to be sure.
Okay. Both me and Rulin have got some kind of dark vision, haven't we?
Yep.
Yep, okay. We'll let the flame go out and cast detect magic.
Okay, so as you go to cast detect magic, you kind of go about preparing it. But as you utter the first words of the spell, a kind of a dazzling bolt of blue energy shoots from the eye of the serpent. So
Oh,
it
shit.
catches you unawares, preparing. 24, that's a hit. You're going to take 2d10
Shit.
psychic damage. I'm
Oh,
afraid.
shit.
16 psychic damage. Triss, you're kind of rocked back by this kind of blow that feels like it just hit you straight in the mind.
Jesus.
Your kind of body feels fine and you don't show any visible signs. Ruland's kind of checking, he looks at you as you've been struck, can't see anything wrong, but you're kind of vacantly staring around. It takes you a good few seconds to kind of marshal your thoughts.
Triss, what happened?
The snake. Don't trust the snake. Oh god, I don't know what the hell happened. I started trying to detect whether there was magic, and yeah, there was magic. It just freaking attacked me.
Some sort of trap? If you try and use magic, it triggers?
Maybe,
Perhaps some kind of
probably.
glyph of warding, indeed. Perhaps if I approach with a bit more of a delicate hand, maybe I can get... And maybe I can do a investigate using my thieves' tools to see what I can do.
Okay. Roll me that, please. That's so close to an 18.
Snag, yeah. That's a +7 to that, though, so that's still 13.
So you kind of look at this statue and the kind of the expectation that there is some form of glyph, but you can't see any kind of indication that it is in fact a glyph. Although you do notice that the kind of the eyes of these serpents, unlike the rest of the statue that are made of metal, they are kind of like a almost kind of tar black gemstone, kind of polished to a shine.
Gems, you say?
Gems, I say.
I'm going to pluck them out of the eye sockets.
Okay, how are you going to do that?
I am going to... is this a object that looks like it has any historical significance, or does it look like it's...
It looks like
relative?
it's got some historical significance.
So
I can't really break its head off and do it later.
Well, the head is kind of like the size of the wall. Like the head's a good 2 meters high. The eye itself is probably kind of like a human fist size.
Oh, shit. Okay. My bad. Sorry, I thought it was like an effigy.
No, it's quite a large statue.
Okay, I insert my trusty shovel in the crevice between the gem and the eye socket, and I begin to heave in one direction, trying to flop it out.
Alrighty, roll me a strength check, please.
Unnatural 20?
So as you kind of swing this thing into the socket, you really put your back into it, and it kind of, you feel this tool kind of make contact with the gem, and it shatters, and with it comes the explosion of huge magical force. And you, I'm afraid, are caught right at point blank range. And take 23 psychic damage. But you have taken one of the eyes out.
I'm gonna fly across the room, like...
Yeah, you're kind of the front of your clothes are kind of singeing a little bit, just from the sheer energy. It seems that even though they don't have a mind of their own, they're not immune to the raw power that was emitted with this eruption.
Alright. No one touch anything.
It's time to get out of here. Let's go upstairs.
What else is in the chamber then? Is there any doors that lead anywhere else? Or...
No, you can't see any doors for the kind of the pillars holding the room up, and then this plinth with the kind of glass bottle on it, which fortunately was kind of shielded by the snake's snout from the worst of the shockwave.
Alright. Roland will approach the glass bottle but won't touch it, just wants to take a closer look.
Okay, so you kind of peer at it, and it looks like the flask itself is a fairly mundane glass vial. It's kind of got a stopper in it with wax over top. The glass is kind of scratched and frosted. You can't see really clearly what's inside, but you know that it's mostly full of a kind of greenish liquid.
What about the plinth that it's sitting on? Anything special about?
The plinth, it's a kind of a large stone construct. It's got quite ornate decorative kind of markings on the top, but nothing you can see that would indicate the presence of a kind of mechanism or pressure plate from what you can see. Someone's shouting at me. We want something. Take a quick minute to see what that is. So you guys have to think.
Okay. So I'm thinking Indiana Jones here. Get a big bag of sand. I'm just like, this one out.
Tarek, how much health are you on right now?
It's best you don't ask.
Okay.
Stop flicking my fucking dice. Oh.
Yo, I do have an idea on how to get that other gemstone, though. We can dispel the magic that's on it with a, dispel magic spell.
Well, you can
we could get the other gem.
We can try. It's going to be a high-level spell.
Yeah, will we be able to do that, or is it just going to attack us on spot?
I'm going to level with you guys. This level, I don't get anything big, but what I do get is some pretty nifty recipes for long-term crafting, one of which is a familiar. I'll be able to craft a familiar of my own if I get a gemstone that's worth at least 10 gold pieces. That's why I'm so eager to get a jewel.
I see. Well, the chances are this one's just going to explode again if we try and take it out.
Is everyone else still stood at the top as well? Because I don't know whether you would have been tempted to come down and see what the hell was going on after.
Yeah, we never said we're coming down. Did we?
I figure the smart ones probably went down, and Titus is there laughing at the dogs.
What's saying? Moo.
Finding Titus keeps finding sticks and trying to throw it to play fetch with the dogs.
Yeah, I suppose they're a pretty immediate threat.
Oh, you have to go and get this stick.
Sorry about that. So, yes, Ruben, you were examining the kind of vial.
Yeah. So, the head that containing the gemstones. There's any... Sorry, I know you might have already said it, but is there any markings on it? Or anything significant on it?
So, the craftsmanship on it is clearly very high quality. The head is kind of marked with all the kind of scales you would expect to see on the head of a snake. It looks quite realistic, but there's no kind of writing or kind of symbology in it.
And there's no written script or anything on any item in the room?
Not that you can see.
Not that I can see.
That means
Have we got a source of light, or are we just going off our dark vision at the minute?
It has until recently been using produce flame, but on kind of casting a ritual, that would have gone out. So yeah, you would kind of be in a fairly dark situation right now.
Alright, Rulen will light a torch and see if he can see anything.
Mm-hmm. So as you light the torch, you kind of look around, and again, it seems that the walls have all been kind of eroded by time, and the support pillars are very utilitarian in nature. They're load bearing, but not much else.
Well,
Titus is going to. He's been throwing sticks for the dogs for a while now, and they won't play with him. So he got bored, and now he comes downstairs to see where everybody else is.
Okay.
I don't suppose we can take a short rest here. That blast really took a chunk out of me.
I think we should rest. Titus is tired from throwing sticks. He will have a drink. And he goes over to go and grab the vial.
So, Titus, you kind of grab this vial. It's quite small in your hand, and the kind of
No one's going to stop him! No.
the top is kind of wax sealed, but you kind of prise that off quite easily. You can't really get your big fingers down the bottleneck to grab the cork, so you just kind of smash it against the plinth.
Rulen, you want to stop him?
And
Rulen, you watching this happen?
chug the contents. So the taste of this is kind of like molten glass. You kind of feel it burn on the way down. Roll me a constitution, please, Titus.
19.
So you kind of remain on your feet, but you very quickly start to feel this burn spread from your stomach to kind of your extremities, and it feels like your veins are just on fire. However, as you kind of drop the glass bottle, you see ahead of you the kind of serpent's mouth kind of opens up to reveal a doorway, but you are now poisoned.
Titus, what's wrong?
Oh, this was not a nice drink. Smashes the glass.
Triss runs up the stairs and calls for Yendorn. Help. Titus has drunk something. It doesn't seem good. Would you come and have a look at him?
Yes, I'm on my way. So yeah, I follow downstairs and see to Titus. Can I make a medicine check to see if I know that he's poisoned? Because I don't just want to assume the knowledge.
Yeah, sure. You can make that roll for me.
17. That's plus. I've completely lost my sheets.
20 something, I'm going to guess.
Yeah. So you kind of realise very quickly from how Titus kind of describes it as best he can. He's suffering from what appears to be a kind of snake bite from a particularly nasty little creature. It's not immediately fatal, but if left untreated, it can have severe impacts on the nervous system, and ultimately can lead to lifetime paralysis.
How very curious. There aren't many species of snake where the venom also acts as a poison. Usually venom has to be put directly into the bloodstream. Usually the stomach acid is enough to kill the poison off. It's very interesting. I saw a seminar about it earlier.
It's also very worrying at the moment, Torek. I'd like to add. I'm just checking what is an appropriate spell. So I could try a lesser restoration.
At what level?
Level. Wait, what level spell is it?
It's a second level spell.
It's a second level spell. I don't think you can cast it at other levels.
Let's see.
Well,
No, you cannot.
Not as written by the rules. Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of reach out and kind of lay hand on Titus. And Titus, you kind of feel this kind of like kind of cool, chilled touch kind of start to spread out from Yendorn's palm. And the kind of the fire in your veins recedes. In about 20 seconds, you're kind of back to how you were before your little cocktail.
Give them a big hug.
You're welcome, Titus. It's a rather strong hug.
Like, as he's sort of sniffling and like wiping his face with Yendorn's robes.
They're very like. Never mind.
Now, Titus, what have we said about drinking strange drinks?
In his defense, Titus was very careful for any rocks at the bottom, but but yes, the kind of snake's mouth is now open to reveal this passageway. Although you kind of hear from behind you, just like, I don't really think we should be delving too far in there. It looks like a bad idea.
Why would you say so?
Because it's dark, because it's underground, because we have no idea what it is, and because it's not home.
Well, but would you rather go outside and face the dogs?
Kind of gives him something to think about. He clearly doesn't want to fight them any more than you do. But we don't have to fight them, we just don't have to go in and try and get ourselves killed.
Ruin will
This little man is chicken.
Yeah, Ruin will take a look, a watch close to the opening and just peek inside, see what you can see.
So, inside this room, well, room is probably the wrong term for this. This doesn't look like a room you've seen before. The kind of floor is in no way level. It almost looks like kind of this is just the base of a crevasse. The kind of walls are all kind of just natural rock jutting out at strange angles. The kind of inner floor kind of descends down about 20 foot. There are kind of a lot of kind of lumps and mounds of this kind of jagged boulder. However, at the other end of the room, you can kind of see there is a door of some sort. And kind of like you look to the ceiling and see that kind of there's the same kind of rough-hewn nature, but you can see that kind of roots from the trees above have obviously worked their way down into the structure and have kind of started spreading. You do, interestingly, though, see on top of one of these kind of rocky outcrops is a kind of a stone cube about kind of 30 centimeters cube. It seems to be kind of attached to one of these rocks, but is kind of oddly geometric at odds with the rest of the room.
Can I cube bridge?
I do think before we start delving in here, we should probably take a short rest.
Yeah, I like that sound.
Okay.
Because both Torek and Triss have taken some damage.
Alright. Well,
So
Ruin
we
will
collect everyone, come downstairs.
Ruin will take a seat in front of the passageway and just keep an eye on the door. If everyone wants to rest.
Okay, so
Roland doesn't need a rest. That's so sick.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't really need a rest, so I'm mosey about.
So, first short rest of campaign. So, basically, how this works, Tris, is in the short rest, you kind of have a number of hit die that you can choose to roll to attempt to regain some HP. And being as you're a warlock, you get your spell slots back too. Because that's a warlock thing.
Cool. What am I rolling? Because getting some health back sounds pretty good.
It's
You go to
There is a system for it in
D&D Beyond.
D&D.
So you get 1d8 plus 6.
Wait. Hit die 1d8 total 6. Can I roll
so you
6
have a total of 68.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, that was like a plus to make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I roll
you can
all
choose
of those?
to-
Or is...
Yeah, you get that many per 24-hour period. You can choose how many to roll.
So I'm not going to rest again. How much damage did you take?
I took 16 damage. Yeah, I'm gonna roll 4 of those.
Okay.
And see how it goes.
I'll do the same.
Well,
15. That's great.
15 out of 16. Oh,
Yeah. Nice.
Alrighty.
Huh? Oh, we're doing the rolls in the... Okay.
What?
D&D Beyond can do it automatically for you, that's all.
Oh, I clicked take short rest and my HP total didn't change at all.
Oh, okay.
Click.
You have to choose how many dice you roll.
Yeah, you have to like tick the box to say how many hit dice you want to use. And then
Oh,
it
I
will
did.
start
I ticked up to 4 and then went take short rest and it did nothing.
Well, we've rolled them.
Heal 22.
We rolled them now, so you're both each missing a singular HP point now.
Aha, but you plus your con mod. So, I exactly full heal.
Yes, that is a thing.
Do you? I thought you just got the hit dice.
I don't know, I don't really do short rests very often.
Short rest.
you hit dice
Short rest mod.
plus con. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, right,
yeah.
yeah. Plus con, but it's not plus con per dice, it's just plus con.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the one.
Short rests are for people who play 8-hour sessions and do just a dungeon crawl where they need to and can't long rest. But, okay, cool. So you guys you kind of do that. So, Tariq, you kind of having just not quite ruined a relic, but you kind of the serpent is largely intact. We've clearly done some damage. You maybe kind of reconsider how you go about your next archaeological dig. And Tris, you kind of are given something to think about that, sometimes magic isn't always the best go-to option. But you kind of heal up from that. Rulin and Havel kind of keeping an eye out, but nothing comes down the stairs or indeed out of the room you've just opened. Seems that whatever's keeping the dogs out is still keeping them out. Only an hour passes. You can see that Conrad is kind of very on edge about this. He's clearly not the adventuring type. You kind of guess that from his position he's been used to a life of relative comfort. And this is probably one of his first times out in the wilds unaccompanied by a large caravan and guards.
Except for when he was held prisoner.
Well, even then he was in a compound, so surrounded by a company of dwarven mercenaries. So, whilst not the most hospitable place, it's not at risk of being ripped apart by anything particularly unholy.
True.
So the hour passes kind of uneventfully. Well, Triss, you kind of start to get an uneasy feeling. You don't know why. Your skin kind of starts to crawl a little bit, as if a kind of few dozen ants and beetles are on it. But on scratching it, trying to brush them off, you kind of don't actually find anything there.
Well,
I've caught my breath. How about we go back to it?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, so the kind of the mouthway opens out onto kind of this room. There's like about a 10-foot ledge before everything starts getting incredibly kind of hazardous and difficult to traverse. You can't quite make out the door on the other end and any details to it. It's still quite far up. But you realise that to get to it, you are going to have to get across this somehow.
Right. We'll then have a good old look around then and see if there's any safest path to cross over.
So you kind of give it a once over. Nothing really is obvious, but you think you can probably try and shimmy down the nearest rock face and kind of work your way over to the kind of central pillar of kind of bouldery material. But it will be hard going, even for one as kind of balanced as you.
Does anyone have any rope on them?
I actually think I might do.
I lost mine making that net that we used against the dragon.
Yeah, we made that net, huh?
Well, I only used my rope for that. I didn't use everyone else's.
I thought I gave you mine.
You did.
I think
No, I used
don't
the
have any
rope that the villagers gave me, didn't I?
I think Titus still gave you his as well.
Oh, did
Because it was
okay,
a reasonably big net.
I got 50 feet.
Okay. Yeah, can we try and tie a length of rope round a pillar that we can then secure while we climb?
You can't see anything that would look to be solid enough to support your weight. There are no kind of pillars in this.
Rulin kind of looks at Titus. Well. Okay, Titus. You hold this end of the rope, and I'll lower myself down.
So I follow you.
You wait here. You're like a rock. You're still. You stay on one spot and you don't move.
Maybe
And I
tie
let
it
go
around.
when you climb down.
You keep hold of the rope so that I can climb back up when I'm done.
Okay.
Okay. So Rulin will shimmy his way.
Okay, so you kind of lower yourself down on this rope kind of tied firmly around your waist. It's kind of hard going, and the stone is quite jagged and kind of sharp. So roll me a dexterity saving throw, just a regular one, because you've got Titus kind of supporting a bit of your weight.
19.
So you kind of manage to get down this first kind of crevasse into kind of like the bowl of the room, and kind of hop your way over to the next kind of raised bit. This you realise is probably going to be tougher because due to the way you're climbing and the way the rope is leading, Titus is not going to be able to stop you from falling if you were to lose your grip. It's about 20 feet up, but you reckon you could probably make it.
Okay. Let me just see what equipment I've got, if there's anything that can help me. No, okay. I mean, I've not got any climbing gear or anything. Okay, yeah, I'll continue on.
Okay, another dexterity saving throw, please. This time at disadvantage with no Titus W.
Okay, well, I'm going to guess it's going to be the fucking 4 then. Yeah, so that'll be 11.
You kind of try and get your way up, but as you're about 10 feet up, your kind of hand grips a particularly sharp bit and you kind of cut your fingers. Kind of shock of this kind of lets you, or makes you release your grip and you kind of fall back down to where you were. Take D4 slicing damage too from the cut.
Slicing damage?
Or slashing, whatever you call it.
Oh, okay.
Just for one, so it's only a minor little nick. It was more of a distraction than a genuine threat. But, you know, that way started.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
You want me to throw you the rope?
Throw me the other end of it, yeah. No. Keep hold of it. Keep hold of it. Wow. Real no sort of shout over. Anyone got any ideas?
Speaking of throwing, why doesn't Titus hold one end of the rope? We tie the other end to Toric and just launch him across.
Yeah, what?
Wait. Before we do anything drastic, is there anything hidden in any recesses in the wall? It looked like it should have been an accessible path. Surely there's got to be something. Trish is going to have a ferret around in the walls around them just to see if there's anything hidden out of view.
So the walls kind of on or near the ledge that you can kind of see safely without having to try and traverse this are kind of just as jagged and precarious as the rest of the features in this room. You can't see any kind of unnatural kind of hideaways or anything of the sort.
Damn.
Rulon wants to give another go at climbing up the rock face.
Another dex at disadvantage, then, please.
God damn.
Oh.
So that's a 10.
So you start up again. You make it a bit further this time, but as you kind of place your foot down, you kind of feel what you thought was a secure foothold kind of snap, kind of sending you off balance. You kind of whack your head on the way down and land on the bottom. So a D4 of bludgeoning. Everybody else, this is kind of surreal, really, to watch the usually graceful Rulon kind of stumped by this rock face he's trying to traverse.
Don't think I haven't noticed as well. You're being very careful not to say falling damage. Because I have slow fall.
Yeah, 10 and 15 feet. It's not a huge amount to fall.
Rulon will get up, dust himself down, and just sort of stare up at the rock face. He's a bit defeated.
So you kind of stare up and you see this kind of cube at the top, and it seems to be mocking you almost from its lofty perch. You realise that the kind of the other side of the room, the kind of slope leading up to the doorway, looks kind of a little less steep, maybe a nicer gradient.
Right, can Rulon reach that side of the room, or does he need to untie the rope from around his waist?
It's a 50-foot rope, so you could make it.
Okay. He'll head on towards the slope and have a look up at the door.
So the door is kind of an iron construction, you would guess, and it has a carving in it of a kind of a figure in robes standing in what appears to be a mass of serpents with one hand outstretched. In it is a kind of a cube, and from it appears to be depicted rays of light kind of emerging, and the serpent at his feet kind of scattering.
Would we be shouting down to him and asking what he's seeing?
Or would he be shouting up?
Or shouting up, yeah. Would we know what...
Yeah, I would shout back that then try and describe the carving that's on the door. Does it seem like a normal door in other ways? It's got a handle that's got... Is it locked? Or
it doesn't seem to
locked?
have any handle on it that you can see from down there.
So I'd guess that we need to illuminate the cube.
Or the cube illuminates the door.
Can I cast Produce Flame?
Mm-hmm. So you kind of produce this fire again in your palm, and the kind of flickering lights kind of doesn't quite reach the cube. It's not a massively wide radius, I think.
Change the plans.
I can
Go, Tris.
throw the flame, but I don't know whether it is then a projectile. I don't think I have that much control over it once I've thrown it. Has anyone else got any ideas about that light situation?
How far is the cube, Crispy?
Willen's got an idea.
Sorry, what was that, Chaz?
I was just asking how far the cube is, but it sounds like Cal's got an idea.
So the
Go
kind of
with that.
the room itself from door to door is kind of roughly about 50 feet. The cube is kind of like on this rocky outcrop halfway between them, but in kind of like a basin. Would it be easier if I were to draw a little?
And how much does Torek weigh?
I'm telling you.
I don't like that question.
Although, if we wanted...
Because I've got Mage Hand.
Oh!
Has anyone...
Oh, wait, no, he's
Mage Hand is
£10.
going to be... Yeah, he's going to be way too heavy for Mage Hand.
Yeah.
Shit. Juice his weight somehow.
So is this the one
He's
that's
got
got more...
6 weeks and a lot of salads.
I'm 42 pounds.
Damn it. Okay.
How much?
We only need parts of him.
IKEA furniture. We can't just kit form him and put him back together.
Could, theoretically, if we wanted to actually try and illuminate the hand, could you light an arrow with Produce Flame?
Yeah, I guess so. Probably.
Okay, so you're going to knock an arrow, and Triss proceeds to kind of light the tip. It's a small target. Make me an attack roll, please.
Attacking the cube. Let's do it. That's a 21.
So you kind of fire this arrow cube, and you see it strike, but the kind of arrowhead doesn't find any kind of purchase in the stone and kind of glances off it. Kind of falls down not too far from where Rulin stands. Doesn't seem that the cube has kind of had any real effect of this arrow.
So how tall is this wall to where Rulin is up to where the cube is up on top?
It's about 20 feet.
And then we're over here.
Yeah, so you're kind of over here, doors over here, so...
Oh, okay. So Rulin...
Wait, so Rulin is 20 foot away from the cube, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I have an idea.
Well, hang on. So Rulin will light his torch again, now he's down in this pit, and wave it up towards the cube.
Okay, so...
So the torch has a 20-foot radius of light, so it should potentially reach it.
We could still use Mage Hand if we need to take that torch a little bit closer.
The torch weighs 13 pounds. According to
Why is
D&D
it so
Beyond, at
heavy?
least.
I think that might be the bundle of torches.
Maybe, yeah.
It's like the weight of a small dog.
It's to stop people mage handing him.
Probably, yeah.
For the love
Amazing
of God.
how many things are 11 pounds, yeah.
So there's no effect.
So you kind of wave this torch up, and it kind of illuminates it, and you kind of get a better look at it. You can see that the surfaces that aren't attached to this rock face are indeed kind of polished up. Looks like they've seen the tools of a mason. But other than that, the cube kind of remains kind of where it is, really.
Okay. There's a really low shout out to this as well. It appears light seems to have no effect on the cube. At least not natural light. Torchlight.
Any ideas, anyone else?
So the ceiling of the chamber, it's got tree roots coming through it.
Yeah, you can see a few have kind of breached the ceiling.
If there was any way to possibly even estimate it, how much ground would be above chamber, based on how far we came down the stairs, the chamber?
You came down about 40 feet, and this roof is probably 10 feet above that, so you would estimate, just on logic, assuming that it was at ground level and no hills or mounds, there's probably about 30 feet of earth.
Okay. I'm running out of ideas.
Titus just keeps looking at Torek and then looking at the cube. Then looking at Torek. Then looking at the cube.
Crispy, could you talk us through the illustration on the door again?
Sure. So the kind of main feature is this kind of robed figure, kind of surrounded by what appear to be serpents, and in his outstretched hand, he kind of holds this kind of cube, which appears to be emitting some kind of rays of light. And at his feet, you can see the serpents kind of spreading away.
Okay. And was there anything on the cube that we would be able to see, or is it just a...
Rulin could probably see that it's kind of like a flat-surfaced cube.
Okay.
Right, so Rulin will make his way back up to the door, and realising he hasn't even tried, we'll...
Just a dexterity then. This one's a bit easier, so just a regular.
Okay. Ten
makes it up. Not gracefully, not elegantly. Definitely not in a manner you would like your comrades to watch you doing it, but it does get you up.
Everyone close your eyes.
And as you kind of come onto this ledge, you kind of get a better look at the door, and you can kind of see that it's kind of next to it, at a level kind of a bit too low for it to have been seen from where you previously stood. There's kind of like an indentation, kind of like a square about 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters. It seems to be unnaturally dark in this little kind of recess.
And what's the rough size of this cube?
About, if you could guess, about somewhere between 20 and 40 centimeters square.
Where exactly?
50 centimeters?
So I'll shout
some centimeters.
I'll shout
Not
back.
quite many, but more than one.
It would appear the cube is some sort of key that could possibly open the door. But we need to get the cube to the door.
Get the cube to the...
How deep was the little gullies?
About 20
How deep
feet.
is it into those...
20 feet, roughly.
How tall is Titus?
Not tall enough to grab it.
But if he was doubled in size
Or if
by
it was
some kind of
Stood on
midget,
its shoulders.
Forget it. I need to have a long rest before I can prepare that spell again.
motherfucker.
Damn heck.
Right, throw the midget.
No.
And just like that, Torek has sealed his fate.
Yeah, I'm going to hand the Havel and Yendorn and just sort of and yeah, I'm going to chuck him.
Okay, so this is like a good 15, 20 feet throw you're going to attempt here. So is there going to be a run-up involved? Is it going to be like a hammer throw? Describe to me the process of launching Torek.
I weigh about 6 kilograms, so you could probably shot put me like quite far.
That's almost what I was thinking. But like, you know how soccer players throw a ball in?
I know how football players do it.
Yes, I guess. He's just gonna overhead yeet Torek at the cube.
Oops, wrong one.
Okay, so
not to the cube, at the cube.
So
at the cube, yeah.
roll me an attack roll, please, Titus.
Can I go reckless?
You can go reckless, but there may be consequences.
No! I don't think he'd be reckless. with Torek.
I would use the help action, but unfortunately I don't know any historical events in which this happened.
23.
We are making history, my friend. Good luck.
So, Torek, kind of before you can really say, oh, be careful, you're already in midair. And you are hurling.
Careful now, you want to...
You're travelling at quite fast velocity at this kind of lump of stone, basically. You have mere seconds to adjust your position. Roll me a sleight of hand to try and not die on impact.
Bet you're glad you took that short rest now.
That'll be a 22, Chief.
Ooh.
So you manage to get it. So you kind of reposition yourself, so you're kind of going legs first towards it. And as you kind of impact this stone, not only do you kind of hit it square on, but you kind of feel the stone kind of give a little bit, and with a crunch, you actually dislodge this kind of cube, sending it into the ravine. However, you kind of go shortly after it, but you manage to keep yourself relatively intact. It seems that you're more agile than you'd previously reckoned.
We are not doing that again!
Titus is piercing.
So, Torek, on kind of closer inspection, you kind of see that this is a kind of like a firm granite stone. Kind of all the sides on it, bar the one you've just kind of broken off, kind of polished, flat. But it looks to be about 30 centimeters cubes, you'd reckon.
It's just occurred to me. I would like to use a feature from my background, if that's alright.
Okay, what are you trying to use?
Historical knowledge. When I enter a ruin or dungeon, I can correctly ascertain the original purpose of the building and determine its builders, who, if they were dwarves, elves, humans, Yuan-Tai, or some other known race.
So you kind of guess that from the architecture and the kind of big serpent head that you saw earlier, this is kind of like a Tildrage construction. As Triss kind of mentioned before, you kind of suspect that this has some sort of ritual purpose. And from what you've seen within, you imagine it might well have been a kind of place where rites of passage were held for some order or another.
Eureka! Safari! This place, it's a rites of passage for those who built it. The first door only opened when we drank that poison. This room may represent another new trial for the initiated to undergo to open the next door.
Well, the cube would seem to open this next door, so there's another trial beyond it.
It would appear that way.
Shall we open it?
Should we not all get onto the same side first? And then if there's something... I mean, there are all snakes on that door. Unless there's
So we-
snakes with us in here.
So you do now have a rope with an end on either side of this crevasse now. One still tied to Rula and the other in the hands of Havel and Yendon.
Is there anything on Rulin's side that he can tie it to?
Doesn't look like it. Again, it's all kind of very Spartan in terms of decorative features in this room.
So it's Yandor and Havel, and then
If all four of us hold it, and then Titus goes.
I mean, we could probably, at the very least, get Triss and Yendorn across. You're doing it that way. Rulin might just be able to hold it steady, but it would be a risk.
We've got some sweet decks. I can run along the route.
Do you think give it a go?
No, so it depends on how much Rulin can carry them.
Yeah. I'll have
A better way to do it might be to let everyone climb down this side. The last person, obviously, free climb it and try and get down, and then Rulin can help everyone up the other side.
Yeah, because this
With
is
the
like
rope,
this middle
yeah.
bit's the circular bit, so you can go around that and go up and over.
right.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Why don't we send Titus down first, because we can all hold the rope on the side.
Titus just jump.
And then he can catch
Um,
anybody who. Yeah, Titus
yeah.
can jump down. It's fine.
And then Havel,
not-
Havel's got pretty good dexterity, so if he has to free,
He's
we got the best chance of stuffing it up, right?
Ankles. How about Conrad? Are we just shoving him over?
Can you
Titus-
Stone's endurance
As
fall?
he protests, just push him into Titus's arm.
Just boot him.
So Titus, you kind of jump down, kind of onto this kind of rugged terrain. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Now, do I get advantage on that? Because
It's not a trap.
well, it's anything he can see.
Go on then, because you can definitely see that you're jumping onto it. So
It's 17.
So you kind of land. You kind of have to stretch your arms out as kind of counterweight to stop you going over a little bit, but you remain on your feet and you don't twist anything.
Okay, now throw me the chicken!
We all urge
Conrad.
Conrad forwards.
Yeah, everybody turns to Conrad.
Wait, you're not gonna. No, I'm not doing pin. He's
You can
very
climb?
hesitant, largely due to the fact that Titus is just like grinning at him like he's just going to eat him. But it's just. No, I must protest. I'm really not cut out for these adventures. Don't have any sort of formal training.
Just to push him!
Well, it's either that, or you can stay here and deal with anyone that comes in.
Well, it didn't look like they were going to come in. I think I'll take my chances up here, thank you. He's just trying to push past you to get away from the edge a little bit. He's you can see he's not a big fan of this kind of drop. Okay, so he pushes.
Could Triss try persuading him to come down?
Yeah, sure, but how are you going to do that? What are you going to say to him?
I'm going to tell him that it's probably going to be a lot safer staying with us. He's just seen Titus throw the gnome, and that went absolutely fine. Dropping down when it's on his terms will be okay. It'll be all right. If he
roll me
wants, I'll even
persuasion.
go first.
Roll me a persuasion.
Okay. That's 19 plus 5, so 14. 24, sorry.
I was going to say, is it plus 8? He kind of
Christmas plus 5.
he seems to be kind of calmed by your kind kind of logical and kind of patient explanation of his situation, and you see he kind of nods a bit, and it was a good throw. Go on, and he kind of jumps down into Titus's waiting arms. It's not a hard catch to make. It's not very far, and he's a big target, so he gets down safely. He's clearly a bit shaken when he's put down by Titus, and he kind of makes his way very slowly over this uneven terrain, kind of stumbling in a few places, but he kind of comes back round to rendezvous with Torek on the other side.
Who's going next?
I'll go next.
You kind of follow him down a little hop off. Titus kind of catches you, kind of knocks the wind from you a bit as he kind of just grips you around your waist, kind of almost squeezes the air from your lungs. But you're kind of safe, you don't hit any of the rocks, no harm done.
I'll.
Would you drop into Titus?
Of course I would. I'm gonna fall for Titus.
Yep. So, basically, long and short of this is everybody drops and Titus catches them, and that leaves you free to the other side. So, Rulin, you're kind of left with this rope, kind of still around your waist, and everybody's kind of looking to you to kind of at least keep it steady enough to give them, maybe not pull them up entirely, but at least give them something to hold on to.
Okay. Well, I suggest, Titus, you give them a boost. I'll pull them up, and then we'll all pull you up.
Why don't we see Havel
Brilliant
first,
sounds with,
and then he can help out up at the top.
Well,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Havel, you kind of grip this rope and really braces it a little bit. You realise you're probably not going to be able to put all of your weight onto this, but it'll aid you at least in getting up. So just roll me a dexterity check. Saving throw, please.
Oh, that is a 17.
So you kind of manage to use this rope to steady yourself a bit, and it helps you up. You get to the top in quite short order, and kind of take up some of the slack.
Yep.
Give her a hand.
Cool.
Okay, so who's up next?
I'll head up.
So roll me a dex, but with advantage now because you've got these two at the top. You can put more of your weight into this rope.
Is it a saving throw or just a regular dexterity?
Just a saving throw, so.
So that's +3.
Yeah, you make it up fine, kind of quite nimbly. You're not very heavy, and these two kind of are able to brace. Tarek, Yendorn, Conrad, who's I'm assuming Titus is mid left until everybody's there.
Yeah, Yendorn will come up now.
Mm-hmm. So,
Titus could just choke Torek again.
Yeah, I fucking throw Torek up. Wait, hang on, he's got the cube.
he does
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So,
Am I
Yendorn-
carrying the cube?
Yeah, I'd imagine you would have picked it up. I mean, it is heavy, so.
Yeah, I figured it'd be pretty damn heavy and big.
But you can kind of lift it in your arms, but it does take both your hands.
Right. Yeah, climbing up here with no arms is going to be a bit tricky, innit?
Well, you could just. Is it got a backpack?
Or could someone hang over the edge and could we pass the cube up?
How heavy's the cube again?
So the cube is pretty heavy. It's probably about 40, 50 kilos. It is stone after all.
Why don't we tie the rope around it and the cube goes last?
Yeah?
I don't think Titus should be the one to tie the ropes around the cube.
Or could we? We don't need. We can put the rope back down.
Yeah.
Why don't you tie up the cube, send that up now, and then we've
send
got a
it up,
couple of
yeah.
people to look at it.
Yeah.
I'll ride it up to make sure the knots stay tightened. I'm only an extra 5 kilos or so.
Cool.
That's really cool, actually.
Okay, so you guys kind of go about fastening this rope around this stone, and you kind of let Torek give it a once-over just to make sure, and you seem satisfied that it's going to hold. So, 3 of you up top, you kind of heave on this rope, and because it's kind of going over an angle of this ledge, you're not able to kind of put your full power into it. Some of the mechanical energy is lost in that. But you do manage to pull it up. However, Triss, roll your perception. Being closest to the ledge.
Say snakes.
Oh, I think this is 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's
So you watch as this stone kind of is pulled up with Torek on top of it. Torek, the knots look fine. They seem to be doing okay. You've tied them pretty well. So you kind of heave Torek up, and he gets kind of up to the top and reaches out. Triss, you kind of grab Torek's arm. But as you grab him, the rope snaps. The kind of jagged edge that you've been running this thing over has frayed it without you noticing. And this kind of 50-kilogram lump of stone kind of hits the wall, bounces off, and
Hi, Conrad.
narrowly misses Conrad.
Oh god!
Bloody hell! I knew I shouldn't have come down here. Titus, as you pick this stone back up, you can see the kind of knots are still there, so you've kind of got a good grip on this rock. But you can see that one of the corners has actually kind of chipped off this cube.
Oh, looking around for it on the floor.
Thank you for catching me. Thank you.
The stone being made of kind of the same kind of material as the rest of the floor. I mean, it's a jagged floor. It doesn't obviously appear what is this kind of lost corner and what is just part of the room. You weren't able to catch where it went.
Well, what now?
How much of the rope did we lose? I'm assuming it was.
So it was probably only the last kind of 6-7 feet. 5 of which
so we
is
can
probably
put the rope
used
back
in the
down
tying
for people.
of the knots. Yeah, you'd have plenty left to kind of lower to the remainder.
Okay, we'll send the rope back down again then.
Yeah, Yendon will come up.
Okay, so advantage dexterity saving throw.
Alright.
Yep, so Yendon kind of makes it up, barely breaks a sweat. So Conrad kind of goes for a rope next. He doesn't really care about the stone. In fact, he's not too happy about it coming hurling towards him, so he's going to leave it right where it is. And he kind of grabs it, and despite his lack of previous outdoor experience, he's able to at least kind of climb up with the help of you guys bracing the rope. So Titus, you're kind of left unsuccessfully looking from this lost corner, and with this kind of stone in front of you, with the kind of rope still tied to it. Torek, roll me a perception, please.
I shall. That's 9.
9, okay. You realise, as Ruin said, the kind of indentation around it, it's just at your head height, but you can see that even stood right next to it, you can't see in even a few centimetres.
Huh. I poke my boomerang into the hole.
So you kind of feel the boomerang go in, you start on one side, and as you kind of work it across halfway, you kind of feel it catch against something.
Okay, interesting. I guess it's just a naturally or magically dark hole. I mean, it's catching on something. I'll have a feel around, see like if the top, bottom, and sides are catching as well.
No, it is just this one kind of obstruction that you can feel. But your beam of blade kind of knocks against.
Titus is going to loop the ropes that are holding up the cube and stick one arm through it,
Mm-hmm.
and then with the other one hold the rope.
Sure. So this isn't a particularly heavy burden for Titus. Kind of swings his finger up onto his back and kind of grabs the rope. Everybody, you kind of have to really kind of put your back into it to not go tumbling in. But you, with kind of everybody up there, you kind of have enough manpower to keep it steady for him. So Titus, with advantage, dexterity saving throw, please.
14.
You make it up fine.
And then he sort of hands the cube out to probably Triss, because he thinks she's the smartest. And putting shapes into holes, Titus isn't very good at.
Never progress past that point of kindergarten.
No.
Triss moves down to where Torik's looking into the hole. Have you found something in there, or do you want to just try putting this in straight away?
Oops.
Well, if I understand correctly, this abyss pit doesn't actually have a... it has a back to it through the darkness, but it doesn't have any sides or floors to it. So if we do put the box in, it's probably going to fall.
Oh, sorry, I described that poorly. Got it. It's like the hole is there. It's the dimensions you would expect. It's like 30 by 30, but there is just an obstruction in the middle. It's not an abyss.
Ah, okay. I'm guessing you just slot it in darkness side first. Then the cube has a hole in it with darkness, magical darkness in it. Come on.
Yeah.
The cube does not have a hole in it with magical darkness in it.
Oh,
That's the wall.
Does the
Guy
cube look
has
the same on every
misunderstood this
side?
entire thing.
So Willem will Now that they've got it in their hands, Rulon wants to have a closer look at the cube as well, see if there's anything.
So you can see from where this corner is cracked off, there are now some kind of fault lines in these otherwise kind of mirrored cubes, and then the kind of side that was previously attached to the rock was it's all still very rough. It does look like it's been kind of severed rather than cut.
Well, I guess I'll cast mending on the corner of the cube that was damaged.
Titus couldn't actually find the corner, so there is nothing left to attach.
Dang.
Well, I think there's probably nothing else for it. Just try sticking the cube in the hole.
Triss tries to slot the cube in the cube hole.
So you kind of line it up and you push it in, and it gets about 20 centimeters in, but then kind of try as you might, it can't be pushed any further and the doors remains closed.
Triss pulls the cube back out and has a look at all of the sides, see if there's anything that she's missed on the outside of it.
So you pull it out, and the only thing that you can see that differentiates one side and the other is that this corner is now missing.
The cube itself, is it like opaque? Was it translucent?
It's opaque. It's kind of think kind of granity kind of material.
Yeah.
Just polished stone. Nothing really to give it any real character.
Okay. So, Tarek, you say there's something inside the hole that's blocking us from putting the cube in, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So maybe we
need to take something out?
Reach inside the hole?
Any volunteers?
Rulon rolls up his and gingerly places his hand inside the hole.
So, Rulon, you kind of reach in, and your hand passes through this magical darkness. You can no longer see your fingers, which is quite unsettling. But you kind of can feel this smooth rock surface. And as you kind of reach your hands in, about 20 centimeters in, you feel what appears to be some kind of lever pushed towards the back of the kind of the crevice.
Well, there's a lever. Everyone
pull it.
Hold on to something, and Rulon pulls the lever.
So hold on to Titus.
As you kind of pull the lever, you kind of hear a faint click, and the door opens. And as you do that, the magical darkness kind of dissipates. And Torek, from your angle, you can kind of see carved into it in Tildrache. It's a little carved slogan. Brawn is fine, but brains divine.
We didn't need the fucking box.
No,
it's nice how it rhymes in our language and their language.
So Rulon will give the door a push.
Mm-hmm. So the door opens onto kind of a almost semicircular room, which is clearly a lot more decorated than the previous ones you've been in. There are some stone benches in kind of concentric circles, and at the other end you can see kind of 5 statues kind of raised on plinths. Although you're a bit far to make out much about them at the moment from where you are.
How far away are they?
probably about 50 feet, you'd say.
And there's no more like giant pitfalls. It's just a
Nope,
straight.
it's just a kind of regular run-of-the-mill room. Oh, well, I say run-of-the-mill. It has a surface that is flat to walk on.
So,
Torek, as you kind of get a look at this, this kind of matches with a lot of other religious sites you've dug up before.
So Tarek, would this be another rite of passage?
It would appear so.
So as you draw a little bit closer, Yendon, you kind of see that the kind of statue, kind of second from the left, there's a very familiar symbol carved into its plinth. It's kind of a large circle, but it just has one straight line going up through it. Torek, you kind of get a bit closer and see that there are some kind of names and stuff written or carved into these statues, and you very quickly work out that. In fact, no. Roll me a history to see what you work out.
18.
So you realise very quickly that this is the Tildrashi Pantheon you're looking at. And from kind of left to right, you kind of see the gods they have. So kind of on the very left, you have Thomrius, the goddess of balance and strife. Next to her, you have Eliodonis, the god of healing and wisdom. As you kind of say this, Yendon, you kind of know that it seems to be very similar to the god you worship of elegance and wonder if there's any connection. In the centre, Kovtara, the mother of the earth, to her right, Ador, god of the underworld, and finally Ditrius, god of prosperity and peace. Each of these statues has on the plinth in front of them a kind of a brass bowl, and underneath it what appears to be a fire pit. You can see that in the kind of centre of the room there's kind of 3 bags and a little inscription kind of in the kind of tray where these bags are stored. And it reads as follows: "For those who come in search of aid, a sacrifice must first be made."
Let me write it down.
Triss is gonna take the cube thing and just pop it down gently in front of them. They took a lot of time getting that. The cube.
So you place this lump of stone down there, and you wait a minute, but it doesn't seem anything happen.
Yeah, it was a bit of a long shot, but she figured after they'd got it up, a little bit of sacrifice had been made just to get it. So, there was an off chance.
And there were 3 bags, correct?
There are 3 bags.
Okay, so perhaps the bags are filled with offerings, and we have to assign the correct offering to the correct member of their pantheon. I open the first bag.
So you look inside the first bag, and it reveals to be a kind of an incense of some kind.
Interesting. And the second bag?
Is also incense.
And the third?
Yep, more incense.
Well, maybe it's... I smell each one. Do they each smell the same?
As far as you can smell, they are some very similar or almost identical incense.
Do we have to choose which 3 to make an offer to? And then the others are left?
So Rulin will approach the statues and. So the carving, where was that written?
So the carving was written on the kind of tray where the 3 bags are. Each kind of god has their kind of name and a brief descriptor underneath.
Okay. Can you go through them again? Sorry.
So you have Vitrius, the god of prosperity and peace. You have Ador, god of the underworld. You have Fomrius, the goddess of balance and strife. Eliodonis, god of healing and wisdom.
A really fucking bad time for your pen to run out of ink, my dude.
And Koftara, mother of the earth.
Rulin will reach into one of the bags and take a pinch of the incense.
Okay.
And then burn it on the tip of his torch.
So as you burn this little bit of incense, it gives off a kind of an earthy, quite pungent smell, but it's not unpleasant.
And he'll reach in. Well, say that was the first bag.
Mm-hmm.
Then reach into the second bag and do the same again.
Yep. So you kind of burn this, and you get a kind of another strong whiff of this smell.
Same smell, no difference.
Same smell.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, the bags are identical.
Is there anywhere in the room that would, like, you would clearly burn in?
Yes, each of these statues does have a kind of a brass dish in front of them with a fire pit underneath. It seems.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying. I'm guessing we just have to choose the correct brazens to burn it in.
So you said there was benches in the room. Is there anything else other than these statues and the?
No, it looks very much like a kind of central room of prayer, where people would congregate and carry these rituals through. There's very little in the way of other features.
Well, if we're just going to guess at random, it gives us 1 in 12 of being correct.
The 3 bags belong to 3 of the statues of the gods.
I don't think it's about the bags each strictly belonging to the god. Each bag is identical. I think what's important is choosing the correct gods to worship.
Crispy, can I, for the Eliodanis, how big is the symbol that you described?
So it's kind of carved onto this platform. It's probably about 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters, but it's kind of set into the material itself rather than being a separate icon.
Now, it's just a thought, and this is a bit of a radical idea, but one of these deities represents success and prosperity. Perhaps if we were to offer all 3 incense amounts to her, she would bestow her help of success upon us.
Prosperity and peace.
Which one was success?
Was one of them
My pen
success?
ran out of ink. Magic ink.
That was not a. It was god of prosperity and peace.
Gosh damn it!
Vitreous. Was it Vitreous or Ditreous?
Ditreous, yes.
Ditreous.
The statue on the far right-hand side.
Hmm.
Do the other 4 have symbols?
Not that you can see, interestingly enough.
I want to kind of take my holy symbol necklace and see if I line it up kind of at a distance that the circle of my necklace lines up with the circle of the symbol on the floor.
So you kind of bring your holy symbol over, and you can see that there are definitely similarities here, and with Torek having kind of read the inscription, you're left with this kind of, you don't really know how to feel about the similarity between your god and this ancient deity. Kind of left with the kind of almost unsettling notion that your whole religion might have been adapted from a previous iteration.
Mm.
But as you kind of draw near and line it up, kind of feel this sense of almost calm wash over you. You realise that this was probably the source of the feeling you received on the road earlier.
Yeah. Well, I believe it was me that was drawn to this place. I had that feeling earlier, and I always have some sort of connection to this second god here. They are eerily similar to the god that I worship myself. So, I would like to say that this should be one of the 3 offerings that we should make.
So, Elia Danius, is that?
Elia Danis.
Elia Danius?
Yeah.
So, if that's one of them, we know from what Torek found in the cave that Koftara is another god of the Tildrash.
Yeah.
So that would be the logical second.
I have an idea, fellas. Could I roll investigate on the Brazens?
Yeah,
Have
sure.
any of them been used more heavily than their counterparts before?
You can see they've all been used, albeit quite some time ago. But each of the kind of braziers bear kind of scorch marks underneath.
Alright.
What was the third god again? That Fenris.
Thomrius, the goddess of balance and strife.
Balance and strife.
Yep.
And then Elia Danis was wisdom and
Healing.
healing. Well, they're all. So there's goddess of the earth, goddess of wisdom and healing, balance and strife, the underworld, prosperity and peace.
I mean, we could just split the incense between all of them.
Something tells me it's not the way it's meant to work. It's 3 bags. I'm guessing for a reason. Roland wants to have a closer look at the statue of Dittrius.
Okay, so Dittrius, you can see, is a kind of a fairly generously built figure. Interesting. You can see that it's kind of got the same almost serpent-like features that you saw on the fountain in the Wormling's lair, depicting Tildrache. And he's kind of, in one hand, clutching a kind of full bushel of a crop of some sort, and in his other hands, he seems to hold a coin purse.
Well, Roland will just go along in the line and inspect each of the statues then, so Adder next.
So, this is a more kind of gaunt, somber-looking figure. And kind of in his hands, he holds a kind of a small ship, from what you guess. It's kind of got a hooded appearance, but you can see that his face under it is quite gaunt.
Thunderous?
So Thunderous, in one hand, she kind of has outstretched a kind of a sword, almost raised, and then in the other hand, she holds a set of scales.
It's a holy symbol. What does it look like?
He's kind of holding a staff in one hand and has a palm outstretched.
And Kaftara?
Kaftara is kind of a central statue. She, unlike the others, is not represented by a Tildrache figure. She's kind of got the head of a lioness and kind of four outstretched kind of appendages. One appears to be a wing, the other a claw, one kind of like a horse's leg, and the other seems to be some kind of long tentacle-like appendage.
So we know that the Tildrache bound Tara, but it's whether that came before or after this. Because if it came before this, then she would probably be a really bad choice, I guess.
Well, we also know that the Tildrache, well, from what we know, were an extremely prosperous society. They had everything that they wanted, everything that they needed because of the power they had. So, to me, the two that seem out of the ordinary would be the god of the underworld and the god of balance and strife. It seemed like the Tildrache were very prosperous, they were very wise, and we know Kaftara as a goddess.
So different from the rest of the Pantheon. Can she even be considered of the same Pantheon, being so different like this?
Her presence indicates that the Tildrache at least knew of her existence as a goddess. Even if she wasn't one of their own.
The tray that the bags were sitting on, can it be picked up?
Yes, it can. It's stone, so it takes a bit of effort, but it can be picked up.
Is there anything underneath it? Anything written on it?
No, it's a plain offering tray.
Okay.
Don't suppose there's anything written on the bags, is there?
No, they're just kind of plain kind of leather bags with some drawstrings on the top.
Damn.
Nothing to give anything away, one or the other.
This is ultimately a matter of faith. Perhaps we should leave this to Yendorn. You have a feeling about one of the gods. Perhaps you can deduce something about the others. Do the others make you feel anything?
Can I roll a religion check to see if anything sort of catches my intuition?
Yeah, go on, roll me a religion.
18.
So, whilst you kind of get this calming presence from Eliodonis, you don't seem to get anything from any of the others. They seem dormant, or at least not currently watching. You do get a slightly ominous feeling from the statue of Koptara, but you don't know whether to place this down to anything supernatural or just kind of the appearance of the statue being so kind of alien.
Aside from this one, I don't feel anything out of the ordinary. It's hard to place where they should go.
Then we guess.
Could Tris cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, sure. So that's a ritual. Take you 11 minutes. Or was it 10 minutes? I can't remember. 11.
I don't know. I thought I had it as just a skill that I could use at will, and then when I gain the book, it's now down as a ritual, so I don't really understand how that works.
Is that you can only cast it as a ritual, or?
If it says ritual but nothing else, then...
Yeah.
I don't know, because I can't remember off the top of my head what your otherworldly patron features actually... Actually do, might be worth fun. I mean, you could ritual cast it, I mean, there's nothing...
Yeah. While you're doing that, there is nothing that states that all three sacrifices must be made at the same time. Maybe we will notice some sort of change or some difference after potentially I make the first sacrifice to Eliodanis.
I agree with you.
Okay, so Yendorn, you're going to kind of place the incense in the brazier and kind of light a fire underneath to make your sacrifice.
Yep, I'll do that first sacrifice to Ellie.
Okay, so you kind of empty the first bag into the brazier and kind of get a small fire going underneath. You kind of kneel in prayer whilst this is firing up, and soon these kind of pungent fumes are kind of filling the dungeon room. Again, it's quite pleasant, really. It's kind of has a bit of a calming influence on you. But as the incense burns, you kind of feel this kind of surge of almost holy energy from within you, and you power up. So, Rulin, you gain 1 charge of regenerate to cast at will, as you feel your healing magic boosted by your god.
Regenerate.
What?
That's pretty sick.
So, that seems to have done something.
Oh, that feels fantastic. I feel all sorts of holy energy. I don't know if that was right or wrong, but it definitely felt good.
So she said.
Does this dungeon go any deeper?
You can't notice any other doors in this room.
But then we didn't notice a door in the first room.
I'm going to search around for hidden doors while the guys talk about which one to do next.
Okay, so as you kind of go behind these statues and look at the kind of the wall, it is some kind of solid rock, no cracks, crevices to even suggest there might be further passage.
So, it may just be a matter of this is the loot.
A blessing.
Oh, can we hear this? No.
I got it.
Well, does anyone else have any other ideas then?
Let's just pick a statue and burn.
Right, Rulin will take a bag of incense then.
Well,
Okay.
why do you get a bag of incense?
Because Rulin takes the bag of incense.
As good an answer as any.
And,
But you got a short sword. So why do you get a blessing as well?
because no one else is saying anything.
Ah, fair point, okay.
We've been sat in silence for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was out of character, I'm just going to leave it. Do what the fuck you want.
Well, as I guess the god that appeals most to him would probably be of the god that offers peace. So we'll
Prosperity and peace.
prosperity and
God,
peace.
I
So
really want to do the god of the underworld.
we'll place a bag of the incense into the altar of Dittrius.
Okay, so you kind of place this this bag into this altar. Sorry, this brazier, and you. Sorry, not the bag. You empty your bag into it, and the incense is kind of spilled into it. You light the fire, and you kind of assume a kind of position of meditation in front of it. And whilst the fumes rise, and you kind of think on life, you too kind of feel this strange energy kind of within you. So, Ruler, now when you roll insight to see if anybody is trying to shortchange you or assess the price of an item, you do so with advantage.
That's mint.
That's sick. Is that permanent?
Permanent, yes.
That's cool.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh!
Is that specific to exchanges of like goods, or is it in terms of in conversation if someone is trying to deceive me?
So marketable kind of goods, really,
Okay.
because it's kind of a mercantile god.
Okay.
If I may make a suggestion for the last offering, mayhaps Triss could offer Kovtara the last incense back.
Oh, you want to take us down that train of thought?
I do indeed. I've studied these things, and this doesn't fit rightly. And I get the impression that you are a master of all things, how do I put it? Otherworldly.
Yeah, that might be an idea. Has anyone else got anything else before I do it?
I mean, can we split the incense and then just everyone get a blessing?
You can hold my hand if you want, Havel. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Triss goes forward with the incense and lights it in Kovtara's brazier.
Okay, so Triss, as you light this, light these fumes, the kind of incense rises. In doing so, the fire underneath the other two gods' incense burners extinguish, you feel a deep sense of unease, but you couldn't place your finger on why. As you're kind of getting your bearings a little bit, you all feel the ground tremble slightly.
Uh-oh.
What the bloody hell was that? Oi. Oh god, it's not an earthquake, not while we're underground.
Well, if we're done here, maybe we should get back to the entrance.
Somehow I don't think that went how we were hoping it would go.
I wouldn't be so sure. The earthquake may just be a symptom of something rather beneficial occurring on our behalf.
The
Okay,
earthquake
so-
could have also been the movement of something, perhaps the revealing of a door. Tori?
Good idea! I'd look around for doors again, sniffing the walls.
You sniff away and you smell rock. Don't seem to be any openings.
Okay. Well, I guess it is time to leave.
Is the statue of Koftara still the same? Has anything changed?
It's, roll me a perception.
Did I press the...
Yeah,
what did I get? An 8 plus 4, so 12.
You're not an expert on the facial expressions of lionesses, but you could swear she's grinning.
Oh shit.
As far as doing things that are not advised, I'd say that's gone pretty well.
For now.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the entrance.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so you kind of traverse the crevice as usual and kind of leave the underground chamber with the serpent behind. Careful to extinguish your production of flame before you enter. The stairs kind of lead you back out, and you can see now that the daylight has come through, and it seems the hounds are nowhere to be seen as you leave, and it's and the sun kind of shining. However, in the distance, you can kind of see dark storm clouds and kind of sheet lightning. And it's
Fuck, what did we do?
and that is where we're going to end the session.
What?
Yeah.
We continue?
Nope. Because I haven't heard that far. Because you've done something very unexpected.
Oh, son of a bitch.
And that seems like a suitable cliffhanger.
Wow.
That is a pretty good cliffhanger.
But yeah, a bit of a puzzly themed one. Change the pace a little bit.
So how wrong did we do every single room?
Well, there's no kind of wrong way. The interesting thing was though, when you got to the last one, nobody kind of looked for an actual door out, and it took you a while for Guy to realise that you're actually kind of rolling for your loot.
Yeah.
Or looking for your loot, because that was the idea. Was that as rites of passage, once these initiates had made it that far, that was their reward.
Yeah.
See, we said that, but we weren't sure. Out of curiosity, what would the god of the underworld give him?
The god of the underworld would have given you a helm that, whilst being worn, would let you see any recently deceased spirit. However, the longer you wore
Recently
it,
what?
deceased spirit. However, the longer you wore it, the more and more aggressive they would have become towards you.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
And the balance and strife?
Would have been a
If you say
weapon dependent on whoever picks it up.
Motherfucker.
With some feature that I'm not going to tell you because I think it's cool. I might give it to you later.
Nice.
Oh no! So we did the wrong one. We did the wrong one.
You didn't expect us to go for Cortaro.
Well, considering that how she was like
Feeling.
she was like the subject of a few
Yeah, like they fucking
tablets and prophecies. I kind of
put her away.
hadn't expected you to go for that, but that was up my sleeve just in case you did.
So now we've got giant horses, tentacle monsters, things with claws and things with talons after us.
Well,
Are we playing Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah.
you don't know what's happened now. It could just be a cold front passing.
Letting Triss give her the offering might just have been a really specifically terrible idea.
Maybe it's getting back my box. Please be getting back my box.
Cool. Well, yes, well done, everyone.
Nice.
Well done, Conrad.